how Anya Taylor-Joy turned quirkiness into stardom. What do you get when you mix hypnotic eyes, an unpredictable screen presence, and the kind of quirkiness that doesn't fit Hollywood's mold? You get Anya Taylor-Joy, the actress no one saw coming, and now no one can look away from. She didn't rise through the traditional channels, no teen sitcoms, no singing career, no stunt casting in superhero films. Instead, she carved out her space playing eerie, offbeat, complex characters that made you question everything. And that's exactly why she became essential viewing. This isn't just a story of an actress making it. It's about defying expectations, embracing the strange, and turning pure individuality into global stardom. Let's explore how Anya Taylor-Joy turned the very thing that made her weird into her greatest strength, and how it changed everything. From almost model to accidental actress. Anya's rise wasn't scripted. She was discovered outside a department store in London at 16, recruited for modeling. But here's where it gets strange. She never wanted to be a model, and before she even did a single runway, she pivoted. Acting agents saw something deeper, something cinematic, and they weren't wrong. But the risk was obvious. She had no formal training, no acting resume, and no connections. Just a face that didn't look like the Hollywood norm, and a spirit that didn't want to conform to it. For most, that's the end of the road. But for Anya, that was her beginning. The Witch. Her breakout role came in 2015's The Witch, an atmospheric horror film with barely any gore, no jump scares, and dialogue pulled from 1600s New England journals. Not exactly box office candy, but when The Witch hit Sundance, it exploded. And Anya's haunting performance as Thomasin left audiences breathless. Here's the challenge. Debuting in a slow-burn horror film with archaic English could have locked her into indie obscurity. And that was the point. She wasn't chasing roles that made her likable. She chased characters that made you feel something uncomfortable and unforgettable. That's not safe, but it's what set her apart, not fitting the mold and never trying to. In the years that followed, Anya turned down cookie-cutter roles. Instead, she picked Split, a psychological thriller with James McAvoy, and Thoroughbreds, where she played a sociopathic prep school student. These weren't safe choices. These were roles that flirted with darkness, obsession, and emotional ambiguity. Here's where most young actresses would have pivoted to a rom-com or superhero franchise. But Anya made a different move. She doubled down on her eccentricity. She never tried to be Hollywood normal. She didn't dye her hair, change her voice, or soften her energy. She leaned into it, and it worked. Casting directors started realizing she doesn't blend in, and that's exactly what they needed. Peaky Blinders and The Queen's Gambit. By 2020, Anya had already earned respect in film circles. But then came The Queen's Gambit, a 7-episode Netflix series about a socially awkward chess prodigy battling addiction and trauma. On paper, it sounded like a niche art project. In reality, it became the most watched scripted limited series in Netflix history. Anya's performance as Beth Harmon wasn't loud. It was still, controlled inward, and devastatingly brilliant. She made chess scenes sexy. She turned trauma into quiet poetry, and she did it all while barely speaking. It was a masterclass in restraint. This was her global breakout. Suddenly, she wasn't just the quirky indie girl. She was leading woman material, but not in the typical sense. She didn't smile her way to stardom. She stared her way into it. Cold, intense, human, real. Fashion's favorite eccentric. While most celebrities are styled to death, Anya brought high fashion to life by simply being herself. From Dior to Rodart, she walked red carpets like she'd stepped out of a fantasy novel. And fashion designers loved her for it. But this wasn't manufactured. Anya didn't adapt to fashion. Fashion adapted to her. Her aesthetic, classic, eerie, dramatic, made her a muse, not just a model. At a time when everyone's trying to look alike, she reminded the industry that true style is about identity, not trends. And yes, there's risk in standing out. Critics notice you more. The stakes are higher. But Anya embraced it. She never watered herself down. In a sea of fashion clones, she was a gothic fairy tale, and that's why she kept getting invited back. Voice work and blockbusters. After proving herself in indie darlings, Anya jumped into blockbusters. But even here, she picked her roles carefully. She voiced Princess Peach in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, a part that was fun, nostalgic, and surprisingly feminist. And in Furiosa, the Mad Max prequel, she stepped into one of the most iconic female action roles of the decade. The risk here? Moving into mainstream projects after being known for niche intensity can feel like selling out. But Anya didn't lose her essence. She translated it. Whether voicing an animated princess or swinging chains in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, she kept her quiet power intact. And that's rare. It's easy to let the machine change you, but Anya mastered the art of evolution without dilution. That's how you keep your soul while growing your audience. Accent switches, language jumps, and total immersion. One of Anya's most shocking skills? Her total immersion into roles. She slips into accents like second skins, flawless British English, American flat tones, Spanish fluency. Born in Miami, raised in Buenos Aires and London, her multicultural background gave her a fluid sense of identity that most actors only pretend to have. The challenge with this versatility is being typecast as versatile. But Anya used it as a stealth weapon. She doesn't perform accents, she embodies them. It adds a subconscious authenticity to every role, and it's why audiences believe her, no matter what country, time period, or genre she's in. She doesn't just disappear into roles, she blends with them and becomes someone you feel like you've never seen before. Mental health and self-image. For someone so visually captivating, Anya has spoken openly about not always liking the way she looks. In interviews, she's admitted to thinking her face was weird or unusual, the very features that now make her a high-fashion muse and magnetic screen presence. The irony? The industry once told her she was too strange. Now, she's a standard. That transformation didn't come from changing herself. It came from owning herself. She also talks about anxiety, insecurity, and feeling like an outsider. And by doing that, she connects deeply with fans who feel the same way. Her vulnerability isn't performative, it's empowering. That's how you turn inner doubt into outer confidence. Building a career that doesn't chase fame. One of the most remarkable things about Anya Taylor-Joy is how she manages to be everywhere, without feeling overexposed. She's on magazine covers in major films, on fashion campaigns, and yet she remains elusive. She rarely shares personal details, avoids constant social media, and keeps her private life private. That mystery? It's intentional and powerful. In a world that demands constant access, Anya reminds us that mystique is a form of control. She doesn't need to explain herself. Her work speaks, loudly. The result? Audiences crave more, but get just enough. That's a masterclass in managing fame. You don't need to scream to be seen. Sometimes you just need to exist on your own terms. If this story inspired you, intrigued you, or made you feel seen, tap that like button, drop a comment with your favorite Anya performance, and hit subscribe. We're here to celebrate the rebels, the rule breakers, and the ones who rise by being exactly who they are.